In this weekly live stream from Power City, we're going to be getting into the latest in the crypto and DeFi space and looking at our own ecosystem, of course. So with no further ado, let me bring up my partner in crime back this week, Mr. Just Ask Jesse in the house.
How y'all doing? I hope y'all are feeling well, feeling bullish. It's good times lately. It's good times.
It's very good times. We've seen, well, let me pull it up right now. Let's have a look. Let's look at the markets. Let's look at Bitcoin just shy of 92,000. I mean, it keeps going up, right?
Yeah, it just keeps going up, and there's positive sentiment out there. I think due to the elections and all these fresh politicians that are being pulled in that are all very pro crypto, institutions that are all getting on board with crypto. Everyone's talking about it. So these things just keep going up. A lot of these guys are getting into Bitcoin, and lots of people are buying Bitcoin, which just pulls everything up with it.
Well, yeah, just let's look back at the last couple of months. Obviously, the markets were stagnant. Bitcoin was bouncing around, what was it, 60s, somewhere. And then as soon as we had the election, Trump is going to be the president, in, when is that? Early next year. Mm-hmm. He'll take office. And the markets have reacted well. We've seen, obviously, everything. Bitcoin, Ethereum. Ethereum's above 3,000, sitting at 3,100. And obviously that spilled over in to the Pulse chain ecosystem too, as we can see here. Yeah. Hex is up quite a lot. I think Hex is up over 300% in the last 3 months or something like that.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. It's just doing its thing, slowly climbing up. And of course, we're talking about Hex on Pulse chain, P-Hex.
Yeah,
there's
not
still
E-Hex.
Some really, really strong believers out there in E-Hex. There's not a whole lot of volume going on over there. Well, here's the deal. Like, the very blunt truth here is, yes, it's a smart contract. It's going to run forever. You can't stop it. But you did have a founder that basically said, "I don't like it anymore. I like P-Hex." And with that comes all the minions that follow along with that. So will E-Hex ever regain and just like kickstart itself back into the days of old? Probably not. Crazier things have happened, but you literally have a founder who's sort of abandoned it,
Yeah, I mean, I guess since Richard made that announcement, a lot of people have chosen P-Hex and just focused on Pulse Chain Hex. But then, of course, there's people who are strong believers that E-Hex will come back, and I think those people are people who have a lot of stakes and a lot of capital on that side, or a lot of a big amount of E-Hex. That being said, the sum of both parts is going to be greater than one on its own, right?
Yeah. Look, I have Hex on both sides. Anybody who had Hex got a free copy of P-Hex. If there were people that gambled one direction or another and said, "I'm going to swap all my E-Hex for P-Hex," or people who said, "I'm going to swap all my P-Hex for E-Hex because I think one is going to do better than the other," well, that's now you're just gambling. And the funny thing is, it's the same community. Okay, so if you had just done nothing at all and you had equal on both sides, people can go back and forth all day long, and your value doesn't change, right? You're relatively safe, right? Let's say you lose $1 worth on Pulse chain, but somebody bought $1 worth over on Ethereum chain, but you had both. Did you lose anything? No, nothing at all. It's like you own both cups, and somebody poured water from one cup into your other cup. You still have the same amount of water. You still have the same amount of value. But there are people that gambled one direction or another, and they said, I'm going to trade, and dispose of all my assets in one, I'm going to go for the other one. And those people, just like any other gamble, there has to be equal volume of losers as volume of winners. So some people did really, really well, and other people not so well. Now, could the tide shift and it goes back the other direction? Yeah. But it's not likely when you literally had the founder who said, I don't like it anymore. I like PHEX.
And you've got exorbitant gas fees. I've still got a stake bleeding out on Ethereum because the last time I checked, it was like over $100, and I'm like, yeah, that's not even worth it at the moment.
Yeah.
So,
and there's times now, like even if you bridge from Ethereum chain to Pulse chain or Pulse chain back to Ethereum chain, you got to pay that Ethereum gas fee, and sometimes it's very high, right? Like you want to do a claim of something that you've bridged, and you're going to pay $30-$40 or even more midweek. You're like, oh man, let me wait till Sunday night when everyone's sleeping to do my claim, or to do a swap on Ethereum. These things are super expensive, and Hex is even more expensive than any of those things to end your Hex stake.
Yeah, I've seen some of the bridging fees going back, like for anything from when it's been down on Ethereum, like a buck or two, up to $35, maybe even $40 for So it's untenable long term, and we're not even in the full swing of the bull market. In fact, hopefully we've got a lot further to go. So are we going to be going back to 2021 where it was $100 for a swap?
Yeah, of course we are. And it's probably going to be worse, because the whole fork of Ethereum, when they shifted to proof of stake, nothing actually changed with the gas fees at all. They're still just as bad as they were. All those mechanisms still exist. So when when the bull market just really takes off, and you're looking at hundreds of dollars to do a swap, yeah, absolutely, it's going to happen all over again.
And remember, it's not just hundreds of dollars. Sometimes it's hundreds of dollars for a failed swap that didn't even go through. I've had that before in 2021.
It sucks. I want you to pull up a tweet that I did 14 hours ago. It's a DeFi llama picture.
A tweet you did 14 hours ago, DeFi llama. Yeah, this one.
There you go. Pull that picture up. So this is a little old. It's probably even a little better now if we were to go to DeFi llama, because things continue to go up. But I want you to take a look at the DeFi llama DeFi protocols and what DeFi protocols are doing the best across all of blockchain. Okay. And what do we see here? We see Pulse chain things at the top. We see PulseX, of course, a lot of total value locked, $380 million. You got the big boy liquid loans up there, $46.72 million for the Pulse locked up in that protocol. And across the POWERCITY protocols, we have a handful of protocols, 30 million or 30.7 million. And then you got the PH products, 12 million, 10 million, then go down a couple down to Fame, you get 1.46 million locked in there, right? So a lot of total value locked in these things. And the total value locked is rapidly going up, right? So you've got the 1 month change of PulseX, 36%. All right. The 1 month change of POWERCITY, 44.8%. And if you go look at these numbers now, I think they're higher. We're probably up near 50, between 50 and 60% over the last month now. And why is that happening? Well, Pulse continues to go up. PulseX continues to go up. There are still some buys of all these different assets, the liquid loans loan token, our Watt token, these things. Pulse chain is pulling some value in, and it's going up rapidly, faster than anything else out there in blockchain.
Well, the proof is in the pudding. And
now we may not be. You'll see some posts like, for example, Eric Wall. he likes to poke fun at Pulse Chain, and I get it. For some people that's very fun to do, right? And a lot of things about Pulse Chain and things that are going on are very ironic. And the waiting game is very hard, and sometimes it's easy to laugh at ourselves, right? But let's think about this. He mentioned that some other chains have, and some memes, some silly memes, have done hundreds or thousands of X's, and meanwhile, Pulse Chain is at like 0.6 percent, or excuse me, 0.6x of what people think the launch valuation should have been, right? So it's still down. But what does that really tell us? The hope would be that we're at the bottom and we're waiting for all the rotation to come flowing into Pulse Chain. So the perfect time would be now. The perfect time for accumulation and last minute to get into this chain before the real pumps start happening would be sometime around now, because it's not a good idea to buy things at the top. Okay, a lot of people make that mistake. Hell, even Richard's made that mistake and had to wait many years to come back into profit. There's things he's still not in profit in, like his ETH, right? It sucks to wait. Okay, and there's a lot of people on Pulse Chain like that too. But when you see Bitcoin going up a lot, you see these other meme coins and these other new chains, and they're going up a lot. But then you also see the positive things happening on Pulse Chain, and these numbers here are starting to show that there's been a reversal, and Pulse Chain starting to go up. So wouldn't this ideally be the perfect place to be right now? In Pulse Chain at what hopefully is the bottom. Absolutely. Right. So take everything with a grain of salt. When you read a tweet like that from Eric Walt, that doesn't mean exit Pulse Chain because it sucks so bad and then go buy something at the top that's already pumped 1,000x. It might mean we're in the right spot. Now, it could be 10x. Nobody knows. Could be 150x. Nobody knows. I did, however, say that if Pulse Chain does 149x, that I would do something.
Let's have a look at that tweet here. Give me one sec. Oh, yeah, here.
Yeah. And I mean it, too. Look, so Rackham made a tweet. He said if Hex did 149x, he would donate $1 million USD towards a listing fee in a major exchange of his choosing. Some of us decided to say the same thing, right? And I chose Pulse in this case. Pulse needs a good solid listing. So I said, look, if Pulse can do 149x, yep, I'll pull out $1 million. And it won't even be a Pulse; it'll be something else. I'll pull out $1 million. I'll find an exchange. I'll pay the fee or multiple exchanges, whatever they want to get Pulse listed on an exchange. Absolutely, I'll do it, and you can hold me to it.
Well, I mean, that would help. The good thing about the Hex and Pulse Chain community is people can say what they want, but there's no one as committed to, self-marketing and getting together as groups and doing stuff to help Hex and Pulse Chain and the whole ecosystem. So if you're going to do that and multiple people are going to do that, it's going to help. It's going to go a long way to help PLS and Hex, and all the other blue chips on Pulse Chain get listed on exchanges, which would be good for everyone. That's a win-win. So like you said, we may be at the bottom. It's a great place to be. Not financial advice, but you don't want to be the guy. Jesse, have you seen that tweet before where there's a guy who's like, oh, I got out of Bitcoin like 28 cents. Thank God I got out of that mess, or something like that. and then like in 2020, in 2020, someone replies to it and says, "Is this guy still alive?" And then he replies saying, "Yes, but dead inside." So,
oh my gosh, that's funny.
something like that. It was either around a couple, like 20 cents or maybe even a couple of dollars. But anyway, waiting is, like Richard says, delayed gratification is what leads to actually good things in life. And for every one Dodge millionaire, right? How many people, lost a lot of money? So
yeah,
obviously we'd love to get rich overnight, but it's going to take time. Let's put it that way.
Usually, like I've said this before, people really need to understand how the money flows and these sort of things. And it's the same way for, any asset out there in the world, really. The only available money to come out of a system is the money that first came in. All right. So if somebody brings in $1 million, that means the price goes up a bit, whatever that slippage looks like. Okay. And other people are like, oh, yeah, I'm in profit. And they can sell and they can pull that $1 million out, which then means the price went back down and that guy who brought in $1 million is waiting. Right. And literally the only available money to get out of any system is the money that's first brought in. Which, what does that mean? That means there's equal volume of losers, equal volume of losing money as there is volume of winning money. Okay. The hope in many cryptos is that for years and years or decades, you'll have more and more people coming in so that can just continue forever. But it literally doesn't change the math. There's still always going to be people waiting for their turn or people that get impatient and then they sell at a loss so that those other people who took profits, because they have that money already.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to. I was talking to LV about this last week on stream, and I think like we're in the early stages of something kicking off, right? All wise. So have your plan in place, know where you want to set your profits, take your profits, and just stick to your plan as much as possible. Obviously, be flexible. Things change, but like you said, money has to come in for other people to take their profit, and other people have to wait for their turn. But as we saw in 2017, I think a lot of people got rich overnight on paper and then rode it all the way down too, right? So
some people got very rich, but then other people got very poor because the other people got rich, right? That's literally how it all works. You hear about the, we were just through a big, very extended bear market, okay? However, at the beginning of that bear market, what happened? There's, a percentage of people that took massive profits.
Yeah.
Hopefully, some people in the audience are some of those people. And those people were smiling, hopefully, the whole time during the bear market because they already took their profits. They got that money out of the system. And they were waiting for the next bull market to start. The other people who didn't believe that the bear market had started, they just sat there and watched all the money get drained out of the pools going to other people until there was nothing left for themselves. And then they're like, oh, I'm down so bad on all my coins. Well, it's because you didn't sell. Now it's hard. It's so hard to know the opportune time to take profit. And the interesting thing about our protocols in POWERCITY is, you almost don't have to if you're making some yield, right? So with a lending protocol such as Flex or with Earn, you've got the ability to lock up your HEX or your PulseX and mint stable coins. You didn't take profit, but you took a loan. It's the same amount of value you would have had you sold, basically, but you get to keep your HEX. And you're doing something else with your stable coins. You're parking them in a stability pool for some yield, for example. You're putting that money to work. And if the markets did shift on you, you still have those stable coins. So you had a great stop loss. You're putting the value of your PulseX to work. So instead of it doing nothing, you can mint some stable coins, drop them in a PH pool, drop them in a 2FUX pool. We've got some interesting things coming up with the 2FUX pools, by the way. But or drop them in the stability pool, earn some sort of yield, earn some fees from some people, earn some occasional liquidations from some people, and you're earning more and more and more coins simply because you decided to hold your Hex or your PulseX and not sell it. There's risks that can happen. I hear everyone. We really need to start hammering this redemption thing home. People are so scared of redemptions, and there's barely any redemptions happening. Okay, we've really been analyzing the data on the back end and to see, okay, what's the deal with all these redemptions? There's barely any, for months and months, there's barely any redemptions happening. All right, very, very low volume. Okay, so what you see on the right hand side, you'll see that the total value locked in the Flex protocol is $10.6 million worth of Hex. How many stable coins have been minted? 838,000 stable coins. Okay. You still have like almost $10 million worth of Hex that's able to be used to mint more stable coins and put those to work. But instead, people are choosing just to keep their collateral ratios where they are. They have an exorbitant amount of Hex in their vaults and not mint stable coins. Now, if that's because people are scared of redemptions, okay, first off, there's barely any redemptions happening. So it's like this fear that people gave themselves because they heard the word redemption and they're afraid of it. But second off, a redemption isn't necessarily something to be afraid of because it's literally somebody that's paying off your loan for you, right? And you can buy back in. Unless Hex does a huge run-up in the time it takes you to notice you had some redemption happening, and then you're like, oh, I want to buy back in. But, it's 10% more expensive than when the redemption happened. Okay, what are the chances of that? They're pretty low. And again, the volume of redemptions is so small that it's like, I don't know that that's why the collateral health is the way it is. The total collateral ratio is 1,266%. So there's more than 12 times the value of the collateral as there is in the stable coins minted. Now, technically, that's really healthy. Those stable coins are highly, highly, highly overbacked. Okay, the value is certainly there for all those stable coins. But why is that actually happening? It's happening because Hex continues to go up. It just continues to climb. And as it goes up in value, people aren't necessarily minting stable coins as it goes up in value for whatever reason. They're distracted, or whatever reason, right? I have no idea why. It is on the community and all these vaults that are in there, 108 vaults. It's on all y'all who have these vaults to say, oh, wow, look how much Hex I have in there. Look, either take some of that Hex out or mint some additional. You might as well mint some additional stable coins off of all that.
And put them to work for you, right?
Put it to work. It makes more value. Earn some stability pool free coins. Do something with it.
Well, I think there's 2 points here that I want to reiterate, like you've touched on. The first one is, the more that the asset goes up in value, Hex in this case, then you can withdraw more stable coins out behind it. You can put those to work for you. You can do whatever you want, right? But you don't have to keep your vault at such a high collateral ratio. Obviously, be safe depending on your needs, but that's number one. Number two is also, like you said, you can obviously, if you're in profit for your trades, you can sell, or you can come into Flex or earn all liquid loans and mint yourself a loan. Not financial advice, maybe even do a lower collateral ratio. And, either way, you get liquidated, okay, use it as a stop loss, or it keeps running and you can pull out more value in the form of stable coin behind that. So learn about Flex, liquid loans, earn how these work. And then once you've got the basics of that, then you can start adding on stuff like amplifier on top and automating your compound yield. But there's so many ways to use the tools that we've built. Obviously, we've got more coming. And also we've got something else coming as well, another incentive thing with we can't really talk about, but we can touch on maybe next week. So there's lots of things to be excited about, lots of things to keep learning about. But the best time to learn about it is now, before things go berserk, so to say, in the markets. You don't want to be scrambling around, right, trying to find this stuff out when everything's mooning.
Absolutely. See, that stability pool is a really cool place to earn some flex tokens or earn some earn tokens. And remember, the emission of those tokens declines every single block. It gets less and less and less. The opportunity to collect those coins continues to go down. Now, those coins are paired to Pulse and to PulseX and to Hex. Okay, they're all paired. And as the value of Pulse goes up, what happens to the value of these tokens? Well, they tend to go up too. Okay, but the longer people wait, the less opportunity you'll have to get your hands on those tokens. The only place to accumulate those, because any claims or whatever that people had in the past, those are done. Okay, you have to you can buy them on the open market, or you can get them for free by participating in the stability pool, and they're emitted out. Okay, and the emission is higher now than it will ever be in the future. You can say that at any point in time, the emission rate of those free tokens is higher now than any time it will be in the future, because it declines. All right. Wouldn't it be nice to put your value to work for you? Put some all that hex value you have doing nothing in the vault at these high collateral ratios, mint some additional stable coins, drop those in the stability pool, and earn all those free tokens while the emissions are so high. While we're at, the start of this, what appears to be this bull run. So you're accumulating these tokens that are hopefully will continue to go up in value. All right. It's such an amazing strategy. And, people really need to think, it's one thing to take a loan. It's another thing and go spend that somewhere, right? It's a whole nother thing to take a loan and then put those stable coins to work, literally collecting free coins.
And like you said, those free coins, you can do what you want, but you can even stake those free coins, those flex coins, and earn fees on top of fees. So, I mean, it's literally, there's opportunities coming out of the yin yang, and we're here to keep educating you on it. Like you said, we've got, multiple dApps out now, Flex and Earn, Liquidity Forks, the core, the staking platform where you can earn fees, Portal X Swap, Amplifier for liquid loans, Amplifier for Earn coming, Pixel Park coming, and some other stuff that we can't talk about right now, but do stay tuned. So good to see you as always, Jesse. Welcome back, and we'll catch you next week.
All right. Thanks, y'all.
Thanks for watching, guys. And to find the correct link to any of our live dApps, you can find that in the description box below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.